Welcome to the Scottish Saloons and Sports Car Championship here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and the car's already under starter's order. Lights on the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, and away we go down towards Duffus Dip. For the first time of asking Paul Bryden on Ron Cumming. Well, it's Cumming who edges ahead on the way in towards Duffus Dip as we go on board with Paul Bryden there. Cracking onboard footage from that car. Robert Drummond behind him. Then we've got the returning David Heaton. Isn't it good to see David Heaton back on track? Yes, it is. As he comes through McIntyre's in that Caterham. Very, very brave man, David Heaton. Used to race against fire-breathing animals, as he would call them. Exhaust come out the side, and David used to almost get barbecued by the likes of Charlie Shaw's car. But we go back on board with Paul Bryden, and this car is something just a little bit special. A Scandinavian touring car. It's a silhouette of a BMW. It's got a space frame chassis in it with a V6 Nissan engine and a sequential gearbox. It really is a stunning bit of kit, and Paul loves it. But every time he drives it, he's finding out more about the car. Ron Cumming disappears up the road in that little... Ron Cumming, he's a class act. The Nemesis kit car, though, wasn't fastest in qualifying. Bryden stole that from him this morning, but Ron Cumming starting to get his head together and finding his way back through that car, the A3 class car. Both Bryden and Cumming in A3 class, in a big moment for Ron Cumming as he come through the chicane there. He managed to hold that one together, but that was looking pretty tasty for the old oversteer for Ron. But he did manage to hold it, as everybody else, including Keith Cowie, makes his way up the back straight now. Good to see Keith Cowie and Mark Dawson also. Nice guy, Mark. We like seeing him here, as through the hairpin comes number 9 new race leader. Now, is he starting to show off? If he is, it's a little bit early in proceedings for that, Mr. Cumming. You might want to hold on to that. As Bryden in a safe second, then we've got Drummond, then we've got David Heaton going over the crest of the hill. Will Robson and his Focus goes up the main straight as well. Flashes past our static camera. And then we have got Scott Tolan as well, and he's in a bit of a battle now. And Scott Tolan and Andrew Morrison together on track. And Scott Tolan in the A1 class, Andrew Morrison's class is the A2 class. As we go up the back straight, there's Andrew Morrison there. He's managed to get past Scott Tolan on the way into towards Duffus Dip. So the Seat Cupra TCR car passing the, I'm going to have to say this, aging Escort Cosworth, but it's had another full rebuild. And we can see that because these drivers, they build their cars every year. They'll strip it back, I would imagine, to a bare chassis and then rebuild it up. But Escort Cosworth, the heat that generates through those cars, amazing that they're still going, and they get a lot of care and attention, and they need a lot of love to stay healthy. Especially that one there, Robert Drummond, prepared and helped by Stuart White Racing, SWR, and Robert, a fast man behind the wheel of it as Ron Cumming goes through the chicane. Back bodywork's loose. Oh, back bodywork's not just loose, back bodywork flies off going through the chicane. So Paul Bryden, thankfully that's not on the track. He's not going to have to compete or deal with that. And nobody will do an Ollie Mortimer and drive straight through the middle of that. Remember that from a good few years ago when Ollie decided to drive through a single-seater side pod which was lying on the middle of the track. Big massive turquoise side pod, and Ollie went straight through it. Claimed he couldn't see it, but Ron Cumming's back engine cover has, and that looks like, is that Patterson? Is that Hazel on the inside of the hairpin, or is that Andrew? Andy, I should say. Well, we'll come back and visit that one later on. One of the BMWs spinning out down there. But will that affect Ron Cumming's car that he's lost that engine cover? Well, no is the question now. And will he know it's missing? Well, he's about to. As he comes through and thinks, oh, that's mine. As he goes up the back straight. He's probably already noticed it in one of his mirrors. As Cowie holds off Dawson. Mark Dawson, a regular to SMRC. Keith Cowie, not so regular to SMRC. More in the SLS paddock. As that BMW struggles to get off the grass down there. If it's 69, it'll be Hazel. If it's 26, it will be Andy. And I imagine it is actually Hazel looking at our lap chart just now. As here comes Ron Cumming to blast over the crest of the hill and put several people a lap down. And Lowell Forsyth now getting into this battle with these two Seat Neon Super Coupe cars. As through comes, that big wobble there, and that was Damien Mackay in a little Ginetta G20 having a huge moment there. And it was car 69 that was spinning at the hairpin. It was Hazel Patterson, lost the front bumper as Hazel, and I'm pretty sure Dad Andy would have been having a little chuckle as he went past that blue BMW parked on the grass on the inside. as only dads would do. In towards Clark's comes Paul Bryden, and from one BMW kind of to another. Just listen to that. Brilliant onboard footage from Paul Bryden there, and a great view of the dashboard which Paul looks at. That wasn't added by us, that is the actual dashboard. It looks like a computer game, and it drives pretty well as well. As we see cars leaving Clark's heading towards the hairpin. Is that difficult to tell from where we are? That looks like Andrew Morrison and Will Robson coming into the hairpin now. We will see as we decide to go back, and that bodywork's still on track. Obviously the marshals can't get a gap in traffic to get on and move it, but also there's no real need to, because it's off the racing line and in a place of safety. It was Morrison and Robson who now flash over the crest of the hill towards Duffus Dip, and they've managed to do that okay. And the Duncan Steele goes past in his Toyota MR2, and Duncan currently circulating in 12th place in the little MR2, and he is in the B3 class, and he's along with the two Pattersons, Andy and Hazel, all in that class as well. Will Robson just dropping off the back of Andrew Morrison just that little bit now. Andrew Morrison, a seasoned pro, we have to say. He's been doing this an awful long time. Competes not only in the SMRC but also with the Northern Sports and Saloon Car Championship, along with the Darlington and District Motor Club, and they put on such a good show when they visit Knockhill, and also likewise when visiting series go down to Croft and get entertained by the very hospitable Leslie Starkey and co at Croft. Was that somebody stopping, leaving the hairpin there just behind the start-finish gantry, the finish gantry? Very difficult to see from where we are, but here comes your race leader Ron Cumming. As Ron comes through and exit the hairpin, nope, there's no car parked there, that's good, but he's got a roadblock in front of him. He's got Duncan Steele, who will straight past Duncan Steele, and also Mark Dawson will get the treatment as well. Mark's pulled away quite considerably from Keith Cowie now, so Mark got the better of Keith, and Will Robson has got Lowell Forsyth, who has gone past both of those cars actually. So Lowell Forsyth very fast towards the end of this race, as through goes the immaculately prepared car of Mark Dawson. That car used to be yellow and now white, and looking pretty tidy to tell you the truth. Great seeing Mark back on track as Bryden lands through the chicane and heads up towards Clark Corner, chased by the little Janetta. And back we go to Robert Drummond now in the Drummond Transport Escort Cosworth, chased still by David Heaton. He hasn't been given any time to relax, Robert Drummond. David Heaton all over him here. There's a bit of smoke on the main straight there as everybody makes their way up towards Duffus Dip, and we're just trying to pick up our leader as Andy Patterson goes through in car number 26. Now the smoke trailing at the back of an Escort Cosworth, but that isn't, well, that is quite normal actually. On the overrun, turbo cars do tend to put out a lot of smoke. However, that is more smoke than you would want to come out the back. Scott Tolan has an issue. He has a problem with that. That smoke could get pretty expensive if he doesn't have a look in his mirror, and I'd imagine you will smell that as a race driver. In the cockpit you smell everything. Your senses are all heightened. You can smell grass if somebody does a spin and rips the grass out, and you can smell that. Yeah, Toland off the racing line, that's all very well, but we would rather that car was parked at the side. He's going to try and drive that back round and get into the pit lane. He's ahead of Robson, Forsyth and the race leader Ron Cumming, and he's not heading for the pit lane, and you have to ask why as he goes up and over the crest of the hill and on towards another lap. Evidently, it was quite clear something's not right with that Escort Cosworth, and the camera picks it up. Let's hope it can survive another lap or decides to just pull over at the side of the track. Everybody else driving through a Dick Dastardly smoke haze. As we get down to McIntyre's, Lowell Forsyth slides up the inside, and Lowell in the little Lotus Exige in the A2 2-litre car, A2 class. Up the back straight he goes towards Clark's as everybody else makes their way around the circuit just now. Getting towards the business end, Ron Cumming though has been pretty untouchable in this race. He's built up an 11-second lead, even with bits of the car deciding to leap off at the chicane. Ron Cumming comes through the hairpin, chased by Robson and Forsyth in their own little battle, and then Scott Tolan comes through as well, as over the crest off the hill goes Ron Cumming for one more time round, and still carrying on goes Scott Tolan. Commentator holds his head here, just hopes that doesn't explode, because it will be a very expensive repair bill. to build an Escort Cosworth as we pick up with Ron coming in. You can get a good look at this car now, actually. You can see how the engine's positioned in it. It sits in line behind the driver, not across the frame. Oh dear, more smoke coming out of that now as we go on board with Bryden. How can he see as he comes through the chicane? And he just pulls out. Oh, he pulls out so quickly, catches Toland. I think Toland's slowing down and past him on the exit chicane. That could have been quite nasty, actually, if he had just caught the back of that car. As we come into the hairpin, once again, Robson goes up the inside of Andy Patterson. Andy doesn't put a fight up there, and the checkered flag flies for Ron Cumming. Car number 9, the Nemesis kit car, takes a checkered flag. Robson takes his checkered flag, as does Forsyth and Patterson. Here comes your second place man now, and it's Paul Bryden. From third place, David Heaton, ahead of Andrew Morrison, Will Robson. Lowell Forsyth does get 6th place, and then 7th was Scott Tolan nursing that Escort Cosworth home. From Mark Dawson, Keith Cowie 9th, and Andy Patterson in 10th. Let's grab a quick word with Ron Cumming. He's just having a quick speak with Andrew Morrison just now. Ron, first of all, congratulations, buddy. Good race win there.
Yeah.
What's okay? Now I noticed something different about it. There's no back cover on it. Why?
Well, it's I thought maybe like the advantage Paul had with brake horsepower, I would lighten the car on the way around the circuit because it would give me a wee advantage.
Nothing to do with temperature related things like that?
No, it actually came off in the chicane. I hit the chicane that hard, like the thing came off. Like.
So we need to blame Ali McMillan or that for not strapping it on, maybe?
No, it wasn't Alistair's fault. Like I mean, we've had a lot of problems with this car. Like, but when it runs properly, it's a good little car.
Yeah, how was the race for you though?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Lost my brake pedal after about 7 laps, like, but I managed to coax it back again, like, and we finished the race with a brake pedal.
Yeah. So how did that happen mid-race? Obviously, you're pushing as hard as you can. Did you just back off for a few laps?
Yeah, I was pushing really hard in the first few laps, like trying to get away from Paul, make sure I was away, and I was probably working the brake very hard, like certainly at the hairpin end, like off the end of Duffus, and that, like, but yeah, it just gave it a wee cool down, and they all came back.
Well done, mate.
Okay, thanks very much.
Rather sweaty, hot-looking Andrew Morrison. Congratulations. The first most important thing that you got there, yes, you got a class win. You also take away that's a lovely sight for me, thank you. You also take away a lap record, mate. Well done.
Oh, that's great, well delighted with that, yes. It was fairly eventful. Didn't get a great start as usual, and then had some good battles through the pack, and then found myself in a bit of a gap, and I was... David Heaton was in front in the Caterham. I was just trying to close the gap on David, but yeah, I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, David Heaton, he's a man like yourself, a stalwart. He's done a lot. A difficult man to catch up there, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He's very quick and very smooth, very rarely makes mistakes, but I was just kind of concentrating on trying to get a wee bit closer to him, and you never know what can happen then.
Well done, mate. Good to see you back.
Thanks, Duncan.
And let's take a walk over because Hazel Patterson has changed. Last meeting I got a terrible round. Just come up here a minute because I lose signal for the radio there. Andy, great to see you back. Yeah, great. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Really enjoyed it. Nice to get a finish for a change instead of breaking down. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't want to, but the old BMW I saw. Was there a problem this morning in the holding area? Was that yours? Was that Hazel? That was Hazel's, wasn't it? Yeah, they're both so similar though.
That mechanic of her fiancé left the radiator cap loose, so that was all. No drama.
Yeah.
No damage.
Apart from you though, the car for you okay? It's because it's getting quite warm now as well. You know, was that playing in your mind?
No, not really. I was just bring it home, finish, try the new tyres. It's the first time I've had the chance to push the car this year, so that was good. Wee bit of understeer creeping in, but I can live with that. So.
And what are the new tyres like compared to the old tyres?
Definitely better than the R888Rs. They seem to pick up quicker and they hold on there, but whether as good as the Yokohamas, I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done. Race number 2, lights out and away we go, and Andy Patterson tries to jump out from underneath Mark Dawson there, but just tucks back in behind and thinks better of it. You'll notice that we don't have Ron Cumming, and we've also not got Robert Drummond. What a great shame, both guys not able to make the start of race number 2, but thankfully we do have these guys at the front, and also Scott Tolan did make it out there, although in the background there's already a little bit of smoke out that Escort Cosworth, which is slightly worrying. Bryden from Heedon from Forsyth as they go up the back straight just now, in towards Clark Corner. And through they come behind Lowell Forsyth. We've got Will Robson, we've got Andrew Morrison, Keith Cowie, Mark Dawson all together, then Damien Mackay. And a smoky Scott Tolan. We'll need to keep our eye on that. There's a creepy crawly climbs off our camera there at the hairpin. Here we go, David Heedon, what have you got in the locker? It's been a long time since it's been called upon, but let's see what you can bring to the party as Scott Tolan. That's not going to last very long. I would imagine that Ali McMillan has warned him to keep a good eye on the gauges and the mirrors, and I would imagine Race Direction would have done the same thing, Race Control. They don't want cars exploding on the main straight, or anywhere I should say, not just the main straight, as Bryden leads out of McIntyre's in car number 79 from car number 78, David Heedon. And then Lowell Forsyth goes up the back straight, chasing as much as possible, just dropping off a little bit. And a lot of that's purely down to car and what the car is. Lowell Forsyth, a road car which has been altered into a race car. David Heedon and Paul Bryden, well, they're thoroughbred race cars. Paul Bryden's BMW M3 is a space frame chassis, as we have said, with a V6 Nissan engine in the back of it. It couldn't be further away from a road car if it tried. As they come through the hairpin. Oh, Lowell Forsyth loses his gears mid-corner. Oh, what a disaster. Through goes Robson and Morrison. Has Forsyth got enough underneath that back engine cover? No. Those guys will keep those places, and in the two seats together going up the main straight of Cowie and Dawson. Back towards turn 3 McIntyre's. The two leaders have gone through. Just listen to this. Great onboard there, and a lot of information in that onboard actually, if you look at it. You can see we've got a base speed and a peak speed on the top of the right hand side. Flashes from green to red, which is fabulous, and also it's telling us the G's that the car and the driver are undergoing. Also, I like the rev counter, but the rev counter we see at the bottom of the screen that Paul Bryden actually sees is full factory. I think you'll have to agree with that. Yeah, you can nod away. Bryden's car really has moved the goalposts, and Paul Bryden, along with Andrew Morrison, who we mentioned, Paul Bryden does the Northern Sports and Saloon Car Championship as well. And brilliant to see Bryden bringing that car out to play for us here. And Knockhill is up the main straight. Lowell Forsyth now losing a bit of ground towards these two guys, and that's just from that little error at the hairpin. We'll have to see an error as through the chicane goes Bryden. Again, you can see that's all everything we need to know. Lap time down the bottom as well, 23 seconds to the exit chicane, pretty quick. Just through Clark Corner he goes. Lowell Forsyth will be ruining that little thing, that little problem he had with the, I can only imagine it was gear selection at the hairpin. But there we go, as we get back towards the hairpin with Paul Bryden. He didn't have much for Ron Cumming in race number 1. He did manage to out-qualify Ron. We've got to say that. He beat Ron in qualifying, but race number 1, Ron disappeared and ran away into the weeds. Hasn't arrived for race number 2, so possible mechanical issue with that car very early doors on one of the sighting laps or the way out of the pits, and that's given Bryden, it's kind of given him a bit of, it's let him off the hook a bit. Having said that, one little mistake in that man there in that yellow Caterham number 78, David Heedon, will be all over him like a rash. Heedon only knows one way, and that's pressure, pressure, pressure. Catch a car, pass it. Catch the next car, pass it as well. As Bryden comes through, just passing Duncan Steele on the way in towards Clark Corner there in the Toyota MR2, and Heedon gets past Hazel Patterson in the BMW at the same point on the circuit. Beautiful day here at Knockhill. We can see Edinburgh basking away in the sunshine over the back there. The Firth of Forth looking lovely today. As into the hairpin come the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship guys and girls. As Bryden's just flashed across the line, there goes David Heedon to cross the line and go underneath that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge as well. As we come back down, there's Andy Patterson. Oh, a little puff of smoke out with that car. Was that just the car rubbing a wheel in the arch? Or was that something a bit more sinister? Let's hope it was just a rub in the arch. But either way, you don't want things like that happening. A flame out the back of the exhaust there. There's not a side exit exhaust that Andy has. As Bryden flashes towards the hairpin, the next car out of Clark. In the distance on the left-hand side of your screen is David Heedon, the yellow car. This Andy Patterson just chasing and following round. This is a multi-class field of racing, and a bit of sponsorship and backing from ECU Master along the way is always a big help. ECU Master, a good thing if you've got ECUs, and you can use a little bit of mapping power and stuff can help you on your way, because a lot of these cars really need it. They can be run and set up on a laptop and have very, very different maps in for different days, conditions, different directions of the circuit. So ECU Master coming on board, helping the SMRC and the drivers in the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship out here now. Let's have a look towards our timing screen. That's my smart timing screen with the timing partner Edinburgh Watch Company telling me, well, it's telling me that Bryden has built up some 8 seconds at the front now, and he's sitting comfortable and sitting pretty. Fastest lap 52.756 for Paul Bryden, compared with a 53.2 to David Heaton, and they both done those laps very, very early on in the race. Bryden on lap 4 and Heaton on lap 3. So when the tyres were just before getting to the peak best, the lap times have been put in there. And yeah, 52 seconds round Knockhill, very fast, and that's Paul Bryden, who currently holds that fastest lap time. As the two see it, look at that, that was just a quick flash of Cowie and Dawson heading towards the hairpin. We'll pick them up on the left-hand side of our screen just now, I hope. Coming into our view, there we come. Keith Cowie defends. In fact, no, he wasn't defending. They were both passing Duncan Steele as through the hairpin, right on the back bumper of Keith Cowie goes Mark Dawson, as there's a lot of dust. Now, is that a car on the outside road, or have we lost somebody? Where was David Heaton? David was taking a long time. Andy Patterson on the main straight. Huge amount of smoke. Now, we mentioned earlier on that something was smoking from it, and also Damien Mackay in the little Ginetta G20. So a double breakdown there. Patterson looks like he's blown up over the crest of the hill. Marshall's grabbing extinguishers and making a move. Andy out of the car, he switched it off, casually walks away. No big drama for Andy. That's the biggest drama there, climbing over the tyre wall, but he manages to do that and gets himself to a position of safety. So Hazel Patterson will have just driven past her dad's expired BMW, and the other one was Damien Mackay, and that was on the way up the main straight, the little Ginetta, the G20 Ginetta, and that looked like another blow-up. So 2 blow-ups on the same lap, on the same straight. That's pretty unheard of, but thankfully both drivers safing out the cars, and the race can continue without a stoppage as Dawson and Cowie still together. People will start talking about how close those two actually are on the track as we catch up with Lowell Forsyth now, coming through McIntyre's and down through the Butcher's area over the crest of the chicane, and up the back straight he goes. And look at these two still coming through, tied together on the road. Lowell Forsyth already been and gone, and Keith Cowie coming under pressure from Dawson. A big jump over the sausage curb shows the pressure that Cowie's under as he heads towards the hairpin, but he's coping with the pressure pretty well as he comes into the hairpin. Dawson can't find a way past, doesn't want to stick it all up the inside there too much. Cowie locks a wheel up, and that's going to cost him on the exit. Oh, and there's contact on the way out of the hairpin. That's just for the amount of steering wheel that Keith Cowie had dialed in there. He was understeering through the hairpin corner, had so much wheel dialed into that car. When they got through the corner, it was always going to go back towards inside, and he dives past going in towards Duffy's Dip. I'm sure there was no intention of that for Keith Cowie. He doesn't like contact with anybody else. Those two guys already making their way down through McIntyre's as we're on board with Bryden. And that just sounds great. Off throttle into the corner, lovely sounding car. As we watch Paul come through McIntyre's now, we kind of want to pick back up with that battle of Cowie and Dawson to see exactly how they're getting on. As Bryden goes through the chicane and up the back straight now. And Mark Dawson all on his own, because where has Keith Cowie gone? Keith Cowie has disappeared. Dawson's heading towards the hairpin. Listen to this. 8,000 RPM that rev counter going up towards. There's Keith Cowie leaving the hairpin. Mark Dawson must have a problem as he comes into the hairpin. He stays well out of Paul Bryden's way. He comes through the corner as Bryden accelerates up towards yet another lap. But where's Dawson going? Dawson heads for the pit lane. The indicator's on. He pulls into pit lane as the last lap board flies from the start line towards Paul Bryden, who goes through the top of Duffy's Dip in the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship. Sponsored by ECU Master. Good prize up at the end of the year from ECU Master. And look at this. Bryden making that look oh so good in that car. I want a shot of that. That looks so much fun to drive. We'll follow our race leader through the back section of the circuit. tiny little inputs in the steering wheel. There's our second place man, David Heedham. Car number 78 comes through, and he is getting chased down. I've got to say, he's getting chased pretty hard by Andrew Morrison. Andrew Morrison's put in a late charge towards the end of the race. He's doing 52.8. And on this, the second last lap, he was pretty quick. And on this lap, he's also setting purple sectors through here for himself. As up the main straight, takes a checker flag. Paul Bryden wins the race. David Heedham will come home in second place. And setting his fastest lap on the very last lap of the race will be Andrew Morrison. There goes Heedham. Morrison crosses the line. Now, yes, he does. He gets his fastest lap of the race on the last lap. Will Robson and Lowell Forsyth round out the top 5 in the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship. Race number 2 here at Knockhill for the SMRC with Cowie, Steele and Patterson. Hazel running out all the runners.
Yeah, that Andy Patterson blow-up happened almost kind of right in front of me, and I think it was beside you as well.
Yeah, I don't know what's went wrong, but a big plume of smoke at the back, and I feel sorry for Andy because he's put like a standard engine back in just to get back out racing, so bit of a shame for him, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Your race yourself, a good one?
Yeah, it was pretty good. There was no dramas at Duffus, obviously with the faster Janetta starting behind us, so that was we didn't know where he was going to go. We had a wee chat before, so yeah, it was alright. The track's better than it was earlier on. It seems a bit cooler, there's a bit more wind. So
yeah, there's a little wind there, and thankfully there's a bit of sun. There's nice heat though as well.
yeah,
It's nice.
It's better than the rain, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Ever,
Sure,
thank
the
you.
next time it'll be raining.
Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much.
And let's move round and we'll quickly get Andrew Morrison now. We'll push Paul Bryden out the way just now. Andrew Morrison, congratulations, a fine class win for you there. I've noticed that it's warm today. A lot of drivers are saying it's hot. What's it like in the TCR car? Is it really hot in there? Do you have fans you can put on inside the car?
Well, there is a fan there, but unfortunately when you put the fan on, it's hot air that gets blown in, so that makes it a bit worse. But it can be a wee bit uncomfortable, but to be honest, during the race your mind's on other things, so it's fine. It's same for everybody as well. So
You've been doing this a long time now, and you just seem you're like a French wine. You're just getting better with age, mate.
well, thanks for that, Duncan. I thought I was getting slower, but there you are. That's another beer away. No, really enjoying it. Great fun. The cars, touchwood, been very reliable over the years, and we get some great racing, so thoroughly enjoying it.
Listen, it's great to see you here again.
Thanks, Duncan.
Thank you, Andrew. And Paul Bryden lying on the back wing of this. Well, Paul, what is it? It's a space frame car, but it's a silhouette kind of BMW, isn't it? With a Nissan V6 engine. Am I hitting all the right spots here?
That's it. Space round mid-engine, runs a Nissan 3.5 litre V6, built for the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship 2012.
Now, it's all very well having all that underneath. You've still got to pedal the thing, and it's not an easy car to drive, is it?
No, I mean, compared to my old BMW, it's completely different. The limit and the grip that you get with the flat floor and the aero package that's got on it, not much here at Knockhill, but certainly in the tracks down south you notice it. But finding the limits, the hard spot, because when you go over it, you've not got any grip and you just go off. So, and I don't want to do that. So,
Congratulations on that race win. It was great to watch.
Thank you. Cheers.